Good evening and welcome to Late Night Review, where we talk about what's happening
and what's not.
I'm Jack Overbeck.
And I'm Joey Karlik, and here are tonight's top stories.
After being thoroughly eviscerated by Senators and WWE Tag Team Champions Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, former New York Mayor and current lizard living in human skin Michael Bloomberg has turned to new avenues of political advertising to add to his already suffocating amount of television ads, including billboards intended to troll or prank Donald Trump, as well as attempts to buy memes on popular Instagram accounts. Bloomberg is trying so hard to appeal to the youth vote, next he'll drop a SoundCloud track called I've Got 99 Problems, and they're all NDAs.
This past week, President Donald Trump slammed the Oscars at a rally in Denver for awarding Best Picture to the South Korean film Parasite, saying he prefers classic American movies like Gone with the Wind and Sunset Boulevard. There is at least one difference between these movies and Parasite, but I just can't put my finger on it.
Speaking of horrible people, yesterday disgraced movie producer and Jabba the Hutt in training Harvey Weinstein was found guilty of rape and other sex crimes and could spend up to 25 years in prison. But if I were him, I wouldn't be worried because he's being given Jeffrey Epstein's lucky cell.
Good one. In lighter Epic Gamer news, the popular video game series Borderlands is getting its turn to be the next video game turned into a movie, with Eli Roth set as its director. So get ready for the CGI character reveal, the backlash against the CGI character reveal, the redesign of the CGI character, and eventually boycotts when the new character is a woman.
This past week, Daredevil and Round Earth skeptic Mad Mike Hughes sadly died in a home-built rocket crash on his property in California. Hughes had been trying to, quote, fly to the edge of outer space to see for himself if the Earth was round or flat, saying he wasn't taking anyone's word for it. In a YouTube video, Hughes said that he wanted to do this to convince people they can do extraordinary things with their lives, presumably like throwing them away. I do know one thing, the Earth may not be flat, but he sure is.
A woman receiving brain surgery to remove a tumor insisted on playing the violin during her operation to ensure that doctors did not cut out the part of her brain that controlled motor function. You know, I had a similar experience with my prostate exam. Did they do that for you too, Jack?
No, they did not.
Oh, okay.
The Shincheonji Church of Jesus in South Korea is said to be linked to the swift spread of the coronavirus in the area due to how fervent their worship practices are. Critics say that their frequent and forceful chanting of the word Amen has quickened the pace of contamination due to congregants' possible exposure to, quote, flying spittle. In other news, Catholics have switched from sacramental wine to Dayquil. Last week saw the first Democratic debate featuring Michael Bloomberg. Here to comment on this is brand new CNN analyst Andrew Yang.
Thanks for having me, guys.
So what did you think of this Democratic debate?
Quite frankly, the debate was a bloodbath. I mean, did you see them going after each other? It was insane. I'm not saying me dropping out is what caused all of the infighting, but hey, if you do the math.
Okay, but what about Mayor Bloomberg, though?
Listen, I've said it before and I'll say it again. You can't buy your way into an election. You need to connect with your constituents on a deeper level rather than just throwing a bunch of ads in their face. Was it Bloomberg supporters that made anime openings and remixes for him? Nah, that was the Yang Gang, baby.
Do you really think Bloomberg did that bad?
That bad? Senator Warren attacked him so hard, I'm surprised he's not throwing NDAs at her.
Well, if you didn't like Bloomberg, what are your thoughts on Senator Sanders' performance?
Sanders? Oh man, his cheeky comment that billionaires shouldn't exist just went too far. You take the last bagel in the waiting room and suddenly you're public enemy number one. Hear this, Bernie. Yang's got his fangs out. He's gonna tear all apart all the gaps in your Medicare for All bill. Weekdays on CNN.
Hang on, you can't be suggesting that Senator Sanders' stance on the 1% comes from an argument over a bagel.
Oh, I'm not suggesting it. I'm confirming it. He's also bitter that the Yang Gang is just objectively better than the Bernie Bros.
Well, what about Miss Klobuchar?
Oh yeah, she's not gonna make it. I was too busy watching her fight with Buttigieg. And I think that the tech industry has replaced them both due to automation. Every time they attacked each other, it felt like that episode of BattleBots. She definitely can't be me.
Don't you mean she couldn't beat you? You know, because you dropped out of the presidential race already.
Oh, Jack, if this debate has taught me anything, it's that the American people want a millionaire, not a billionaire. A fighter, not a whiner. That's where I come in. I'm happy to announce that I'm relaunching my campaign for president. That's right. Yang Gang is back, baby! You've seen the other candidates? Let's be real. They're not that great. Like, it only took me leaving the race for everyone to realize they need the Yankster to swoop in and steal the nomination.
I don't think that's how primaries work.
Hey, I need this, okay? I need to be on top of the media again. Do you know what the people at CNN are making me do now? I have to run and get copies for interns. Every time I disagree with what their analysts say, Anderson Cooper puts me in the corner of a room and puts a post-it on my back saying, "Drop out." I need the clout back, man. I need the clout.
Andrew Yang, everybody!
In recent dystopian news, social media platform in baby's first Orwellian bureaucracy, Facebook, has reported that the company's official Twitter and Instagram accounts were hacked recently. But don't worry, their MySpace, AOL, and Club Penguin accounts are doing just fine.
Speaking of things that are irrelevant, this week former presidential candidate and national fairy godmother Marianne Williamson endorsed Bernie Sanders for the Democratic nomination. As a result, Sanders' Medicare for All plan will now include comprehensive coverage for aura cleansing.
Huh, that's pretty weird, Jack. Speaking of weird stuff old people do, the Wall Street Journal reported an unexpected rise in the diagnosis of ADHD in the elderly. Said Twitter, okay, boomer, that's cultural appropriation. I hope you get canceled.
A new article in Entertainment Weekly details how Little Women star Florence Pugh and Paddington Bear bonded over marmalade this past week. Hello?
Who is it, Jack?
Yes.
What'd they say?
Yes, I understand. I have just received word from the World Authority on Caucasity saying that that was indeed the whitest sentence ever conceived of.
The new Mission Impossible movie has been forced to halt production by Paramount Pictures because of concerns about the spread of the deadly coronavirus. I guess that this was the one mission that was too impossible.
Patrons of a Planet Fitness in South Philadelphia had their workouts cut short late Sunday night when an SUV plowed through the gym wall. By the light of day, authorities still weren't sure what caused the driver's miscalculation, but some bystanders reported hearing him say, "Oh no, guys, how horrible, now I have to skip leg day, oh no."
This past week, Donald Trump Jr. apparently received a permit to hunt Alaskan grizzly bears. Okay, I have a message for baby Trump. So if you're watching, listen up. So, this Ben Affleck looking ass thinks he can go in unprepared in my state and hunt my animals? You're telling me that little prep school boy is gonna hunt wild grizzly bears? Remember, this is the guy who coined the term Saturday and live. Oh boy, did someone spike his caviar this morning? Because he's clearly not thinking straight. I don't care what he brings or how prepared he claims he is not ready. Listen to me, I was put on an island for 3 days in middle school with nothing but a plastic tarp and a can. I have played high school soccer in single-digit degree weather. He would not last a day against those damn Grizzlies. I've seen him up close. You don't want any of that. Go back home, suit boy, you're drunk. You're not ready for the harsh world that is the biggest state in this nation. Come back to me when you think you can handle it. Back to you, Jack.
For Late Night Review, I'm Jack Overbeck.
And I'm Joey Carlin. Good night.
Some of us from Houston, some of us from Dallas, some close to Mexico. Shout out to the Valley. Watch Longhorn.